Welcome to OWAD today. I'm Sophie, a pilot into the Universe of Chinese. Let's continue our day 2 in the new year. That is the very starting point of our journey of unpacking Chinese through the shape to discover the meaning. And today's one is easy. It's just one single, horizontal line. And that in Chinese means one. How visually straightforward that is. It's pronounced as E. Now, as a tradition, I go deeper in language than just at the simplified Chinese version. I will put a traditional version in the middle and then the ancient version to the far right. But today is a little bit deviation from that because the traditional Chinese, E, this number 1, concept is so essential, so core, and it's so simple. It's just one horizontal line. There's no further way to further simplify it. So the traditional Chinese would just look one horizontal line, exactly the same. But then what's this character that's so complicated that also means one? Well, that is the capitalized Y. That's the Chinese way of capitalization. So instead of like alphabet, we have this literally make something look bigger. Chinese capitalization make it complicated. And that capitalization practice only apply to the, 10 digits we have, or 9 actually. 10, because we also have ling. That from 0 to all the way to 9, and then we can express, and we also have 10 actually. okay, scrape that. So Chinese, when it comes to numbers, because numbers is concerned with monetary transaction. Chinese got an ancient banking system of who owns whom, how much, right? And this how much, if we just put one, the simple version, it's so easy to be misrepresented, to be altered, right? To be forged into something else. So to prevent that, when it comes to numerical numbers, this complicated spelling came in that if you fudge anywhere, you can tell it's not the original. So that's the complicated version. That's Chinese capitalization of their numeric concepts. So this complicated version came from this bottle of liquor, ancient wine, Chinese version. And this bottle have narrow neck, right? A bigger body. And then the top of it, there's 2 curved lines with 1 vertical line. That means out. Means the liquid from the bottle goes out in one continuous piece. And at ancient times, people regard the liquid inside the bottle as one unit, one continuous thing. And there is no, unless the bottle leaks, then there is a second exit for the liquid. Otherwise, there's only one bottleneck where the liquid can be poured out. So in that way, this character means focused. There's only one exit from this container. So that creates the concept of focused one. Okay. And then the middle part, to me, it's almost like embossed character. That means good fortune. So Chinese sometimes like to spread their blessings onto their stuff they use every day. And so that could be something commonly seen in the ancient wine bottles, let's say. It means you're going to get a good fortune if you drink from this bottle, right? And that eventually lets the sound to this complicated character. So that's pronounced as ji. So ji and yi kind of similar, right? In terms of vowel. Now this is one of the garden varieties of one. It was expressed back then. And I guess that was an ancient effort to make it a little bit more complicated, a little bit more intentional, like a little bit more like a human-made thing, because we have to realize ancient times when we record keeping, try to pass the message down generations. We carve it onto the shells or stones even, or cast it into bronze. Over time, things can get cracked up and the message can get lost. A simple straight line one message can easily look like a random crack on things. So then later generations won't be able to tell, is it human carved one horizontal line, or it's a crack by nature? Is it man-made or nature-made? So to avoid such confusion, remove the guesswork for later generations. Somebody add this thing, and this thing means it's an ancient times weaponry / farming tool. And we would kind of imagine ancient times is not as resourceful as today. So if you can double function something, you definitely would do that. So that pointy edges can be seen as, it can be used as a weapon. But in peace times, it can be used as a farming tool to loosen up the soil, things like that. So this is the ancient version of the complicated. This complicated version is the Ming Dynasty, which ended in 1644. Okay, my historical data is still reserved. So that was 5,000 years ago, less than 500 years ago, that an emperor back then started this capitalization effort to complicate these numerical numbers. And this probably is before 3,000 years ago. So this is an earlier version of complication. Now, the expressions 一生一世. You may wonder, what? This E pronounced as a flat tone. Why here is a fallen tone and then a rising tone? Same character. Just put in this expression. Okay, my theory is because the second character, 生, is a flat tone. So if we pronounce 3 flat tones together, it sounds robotic. Let's try. 一生一世, right? It's like flat, 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 fall. Versus 一生一世. It gives a little more tonal change so that the pronouncers, the speakers, have an easier time. Because holding flat tone actually takes quite some efforts. Not saying that we cannot pronounce it, it's just more effortful. So language as, everyday use, we try to make it easier. And also for the listener, it's easier to pick up. So 一生一世 means one life, one generation. It's a commonly used vow at a wedding. You can figure it out, right? It's promise, like stick out together for the whole life to create just one generation. Okay, 一心一意, same logic, because the second character, 心, is a flat tone. So we have to pitch bend and the 一 to make it more melodic. So 一心一意 means one heart, one intention. That means you're super dedicated to do something. You make your promise. If 一生一世 is about lifetime being spent together, 一心一意 means your whole heart, which may be distracted to all kinds of directions of goal setting. Now, 一心一意, just one goal. There's one big goal in front of you. So you can focus your energy on something. So that's 一心一意. Now, 一瘸一拐. If you notice, this time we have 瘸, rising tone, in between the E, but the E doesn't flatten out. It makes this fallen tone. So it's a 一瘸一拐. Well, to me, that creates a kind of a rhythmic of 瘸 means lame, 拐 means limp. This motion of disabled person walking to give it more kind of a stop, because E, this fallen tone, is more like the ending of things. 一瘸一拐 gives you this effortfulness imagery just by the audio. And I think that's why Chinese, even by the book, 一 pronounced as flat tone. in the context of how it was used and how it was, as well as the meaning, as well as sound of its nearby characters, then this E sound would adapt to its environment and then change its pronunciation. So that's also a kind of thing that as a native speaker, we can detect if somebody is a foreigner, because such knowledge, if I don't do one word a day, I wouldn't even think about it. And it's just got in me by highly repetitive environment of everybody using the language and saying it in this way. Versus foreigners, they learn by book first, and then it's really hard to remember. But I hope through the explanation here, it can make sense and easier for you. There we go. 1. E. Thank you for your time. See you another day.